Hello.
Hello, welcome to Our Time.
Great to have your company once again. Have we got a jammed action-packed show today?
Do we?
Who's on?
We usually do. Well, I know Richard's on. And he's got... Oh, Malcolm, you're a tease.
I know, because we have a surprise guest coming up in our second half. You just have to wait and see. But Richard Gibson is joining us right now. Hi, Richard.
Good evening.
Great to have you with us. So it could be good morning, because we go to air at all sorts of odd times all over Australia.
Good day.
Good day, yes. It's funny, because you have to use terms like in this episode rather than good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and whatever else. I just noticed that sitting beside you there, I want to use the old line, is that a gun beside you or are you just pleased to see me? It doesn't quite make the same sense.
Not quite.
But I've got one of those at home too.
A little guitar.
No.
I wouldn't
No,
go
I
that
know
far.
what it is, and I love the sound of them. I really
It's a
do.
ukulele, or as the Hawaiians say, an ukulele.
Well, it's the spelling that traps you.
It is. It has two U's.
Yes, it does, and it's
Correct, not
I was
three
trying to
E's.
write it in the rundown. I was typing away and thinking that's not right. That's
No,
not right.
it's a common
And
mistake amongst the
autocorrect
misinformed.
couldn't work it out. My fault.
Right. Well, this is a 1927 Gibson ukulele, and it's one from my collection. Once one has one ukulele, it's hard to stop.
Really? How many
And,
do you have, Richard?
I don't know.
Oh, no, that many.
Do people give you ukuleles because they know you like a uke?
Well, in fact, I did acquire a very interesting banjo ukulele that way. It's on permanent loan to me. A chap I was working with at the time said, well, if you're interested in ukuleles, I have one that I was given at university. It went into the top shelf of my wardrobe, and there it has been ever since. And this was 35 years later, so I had the pleasure of playing that instrument after no one else had for 35 years.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
brilliant. Did you sing My Dog Has Fleas?
No.
Is that a popular tune?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, no. Well, colloquially, the tuning of a ukulele.
My dog has fleas. It's G-A-C... No,
How on earth that
G-A
came about,
no,
I don't know.
G-E-C-A, isn't it?
G-C-E-A.
G-C-E-A, silly me. G-C-E-A.
George Clooney eats apples.
Oh, rightio. I like My Dog Has Fleas best.
The ukulele is a modern musical phenomenon, but it's brought a lot of people back to music. It's been a pleasure to teach ukulele at WEA.
And that's what you do?
Unleash the musical ambitions that people in some cases have harboured for 40 or 50 years. They're always told, you're not good enough, or you're never going to be any good.
Is
but
it
they've
an
always
easy...
wanted to play.
Even I can play it.
Is it an easy... Well, it must be easy.
Is
then.
it easy to play?
Is
Here,
it
hold this instrument and put one finger right there, just on
this
that string there, and strum. Just touch the one string.
Oh, sorry.
There we are. You've mastered the C chord. There
you go.
From here.
Oh, can I try one, please? Because I know one. I know two.
It just feels nice. It's actually
They're
a
lovely,
nice
aren't they?
instrument to hold.
I think I know that one.
You do, and that's the chord of G7.
Oh,
Beautiful.
and I know
F
that one. So that's F, C and what?
and G7.
G7.
And there we are, with those three chords.
You can play anything.
You can play about 1.5 million songs.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Because a lot of popular music is just written in 3 chords, and so.
But you know, the amazing thing is we've got a little clip of your group, and it's not what I would generally call a ukulele song that you're playing. And why don't we have a look and you'll know what we mean.
It's rolling right. Rain, wind, and weather, help and for leather. Wishing my gal was by my side. All the things I'm wishing, good riddles, love and kissing, waiting at the end of my ride. Move 'em on, head 'em up, head 'em up, move 'em on, move 'em on, head 'em up, roll high, cut 'em out, ride 'em in. Ride 'em in, roar high. Keep moving, moving, moving. Though that you're moving. Keep them dogs
see, you would never have thought that you'd get all the yeehaws out of that.
No.
But that's part of the skill of playing in a ukulele group. It's arranging songs that are familiar, but do seem it's novel and new when you play them on different these songs on different instruments.
Who's the most interested in learning? Is there an age group? Is it like our age group?
Oh, it's definitely boomer.
Is it?
Oriented, but all ages are represented in my classes. We get a lot of young folk these days.
Oh,
a lot of
20-year-olds, you mean?
a lot of millennials are playing the ukulele. It's such a wonderfully convenient instrument to carry around. And I had a millennial in my classes last year who said, "I've just come back from England." Hitchhiked through Europe, down through India, made my way back to Australia. He said, I had a ukulele in my backpack and I met so many wonderful people, just the top of the ukulele sticking out of my backpack. He said, now that I'm back, I think I'd better learn how to play.
No, I agree. There's a boy that comes to classes every Saturday morning at talent school, and he comes with his bag. I've tuned it for him because he didn't know how to tune it. He can't play it yet, but he has every intention of learning how to play it. And each week I keep saying, well, try, because I only know those 3 chords too. But I keep saying, try that out. So if I can do that much, anyone can do that much.
Well,
it's really true. I can play Pearly Shells.
Oh, there we are. From the Ocean. That's a wonderful song and beautifully suited to the ukulele.
It is. But that's the interesting thing. I guess a ukulele was really thought of more along those lines of sort of the South Sea Island songs back in the 20s. But not anymore.
Not anymore. I think that the ukulele, because it's so approachable, to play it well, you have to practice a lot, just like any other instrument. But it's so approachable and it's so easy to learn those first few chords.
Well, it's not just about the chords, it's also the action
rhythm,
here.
the strumming.
Can you show us some of the different actions that you could employ?
Sure. I mean...
do you want to take that? Let's move your gun holster thing there.
But just in the courses that we teach, we start off very simple rhythms, but then you build in the downstrokes and upstrokes and start to get different
Already you want to groove with it, don't you?
Yes.
And then start to swing a little bit and build a little bit of swing in, and then we might go to calypso. And then by changing those strums and altering the speed at which they're done, you can play a lot of different songs with different, as I say, different texture.
Different fields, I suppose, as well. What got you into a ukulele then?
Well, I have played guitar since I was quite young. My older brother introduced me to guitar, but I never played well enough, and I sang a lot and never really played to my satisfaction. And in 2007, I had a back operation. And I saw a ukulele, I beg your pardon, in a junk shop, and I thought that'd be far easier to play than a guitar when I'm recovering. And I bought it, strung it up, started to play it, and then realised, oh, the chord shapes are the same as a guitar, but it's transposed in pitch. So it was easy for a guitarist to play. And then a month later, I heard about the start of the Adelaide Ukulele Appreciation Society, which was the first ukulele group in Adelaide, meeting at the Governor Hindmarsh Hotel.
Right.
And went along to the first meeting, which was 10 years ago in October this year. So it was 2007, and my life changed.
Isn't that brilliant?
These instruments are made to be played together, other folks together. You don't starve in a garret and play your ukulele.
Right.
You go to a pub and you play with other people and sing, and it is a wonderful community exercise at a local level, at a national level, at an international level. Walk into a pub virtually anywhere in the world with a uke and you will be welcomed.
Lovely.
Yeah, that's lovely, yeah. So teaching, was that just your desire to pass on your knowledge?
Well, I was asked to, and I'm not a teacher by profession, and teaching adults mainly through WEA is something that I hadn't done before, but I seem to be able to communicate a passion. And
Well, after if you've gone through a life of a regular education system, like right here at the uni that we make this show at, you don't want to so much go back to a uni when you're perhaps a more mature age student, but to go to WEA, I learnt to type there, touch type there, and I would never have learnt to type back in the late 90s if I hadn't have done a class. And I would recommend people take a class, or take a course rather than a class, but take a course, because over a period of time it grows. You understand how it works.
Learning in a group is a fabulous exercise with a musical instrument,
Yes.
because
You
people
encourage
do learn,
each other.
That's right,
Yeah.
and people learn at different rates, and the folks who are a little bit ahead can help the people who are finding it more difficult, and just understanding, especially the strum rhythms. It's very difficult when you're playing by yourself. When you're playing, with a bunch of
play
other
something
folks.
for a moment for us, because we've got to go to a break and we'll be back in a tick. Play away. Play away.
I'm a poor Hawaiian beach boy, a long way from the beach. Someone shoved his face against my hand. Now I'm a kissing cousin to a ripe pineapple. I'm in the can. I was minding my own business, just drinking daddy's juice. I swear I'll never touch that stuff again. Just like the pig who gave his all before the luau. I'm in the pen. Well, I got those beach boy blues. Don't the time go slow? Those lonely beach boy blues. Only 30 days and 90 years to go. I want a taste of honey from my Wahine's lips. I want to be her ever-loving man. But I'm a kissing cousin to a ripe pineapple. I'm in the can. But I'm a kissing cousin to a ripe pineapple. I'm in the can.
Mr. Elvis Presley.
Yeah. Fantastic. Just great to
Richard.
have you on the program. I really enjoyed that. So if people want to learn to play the ukulele anywhere in Australia, obviously in South Australia, they can
WEA.
find you at the WEA, but where else in Australia?
All of the ukulele groups in Australia, I would say, have a beginners program. So they bring people in and my objective is to get people confident enough to enter one of these programs. And they will start with the basics, playing with other people, move on through, and eventually, I'm sure, blossom out to the styles of music that they enjoy, and with people they've met who
enjoy
with
it
whom they
too.
get on.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Look, thank you so much for being part of our time.
Thank you.
Very nice, Richard.
My dog has fleas. See, I remember that, the tuning. My dog has
Oh,
fleas.
right.
My
Yeah,
dog
you're
has
pretty.
fleas.
Yeah.
Do you have fleas, Kimberly?
I definitely do not have fleas.
What a question to ask a
That's a
lady.
nice welcome back.
We haven't seen you for a while, and it's great to have you back again
Thank you.
with our time. Kimberly, in the past, you've always given us really helpful tips about nutrition and supplements, if they're necessary or not necessary, and what we should do to help us out, because you are,
A nutritionist.
and that means you...
I help people make balanced decisions and educated decisions for their health and their family, what food they eat, what supplements they take, do they need to detox, do they need to avoid certain foods, so it makes them better.
But
So
Janice
we
has a
would
very relevant question.
I always
Okay, lay it on me. Let's
no,
go.
I'm just thinking though, if people have had an illness and have been on medication for some time, then they can come to you and you would help them actually clean out their system.
Absolutely. So
Through diet.
Through diet. So some people we need to avoid food allergies. So we target things like gluten and dairy or amines, salicylates, food groups. Some people we need to actually just take the toxic load off them. Take out alcohol and coffee and processed foods. So yeah, we do an assessment and see if we can help do a bit of repair work after surgery or an illness.
So would you call that clean eating then? Is it, because this is the topic that we were
I'm
trying
more
to...
concerned about the toxic load.
No, I would not call that clean eating.
So what are we talking?
What is clean eating?
Okay, so
does it mean I have to take my food in the shower and give it a bit of a scrub
you
under
can
the
if you want.
celery pits?
No, but
No?
the bread isn't going to taste that good. Okay, so there's this
No, it
new
wouldn't really, would
way
it?
of eating. You know, we always seem to go in fads, and there's a new thing which is called clean eating. And clean eating is where people have started to, you know, get rid of processed food completely. They've maybe made sure that they're having free range or antibiotic free. They're having pesticide, organic. And so there's so many varying degrees of clean eating. Now, why would someone even start to do that? First of all, after illness, maybe if someone's had a big cancer scare or, you know, quadruple bypass, and they're like,
Have you? I never
no,
knew.
I'm not planning on having one. But you know, sometimes a lot of people won't make decisions for their health until something major happens. That's half of my practice is this has happened. I now need you to help me do an extreme makeover. And so we would tidy up things. Let's get out your coffee, get out your alcohol. Let's eat clean, better food, less additives, numbers, etc.
You made an interesting point when you just said that, though. Is coffee really bad for us and tea?
No,
Are those
no,
things bad
not
for
at all.
us?
But everything, my line is always everything in moderation.
Can I just mention, sorry, I have to
Yes.
tell this funny story. My sister rang me one day and said, I've just discovered that I'm having 5 lots of fruit a day. Coffee beans are fruit.
No, they don't count. Nice try.
She's a bit of a fruit, your sister.
Yes,
Which
no.
sister is it? Just
No, I'll tell you later.
Yeah, so look, a couple of coffees a day, absolutely fine. But it depends on what medication you're on, what your gene pool is, what your liver function is like, how much alcohol you drink. So I could say for you 3 coffees a day is fine, for you 3 coffees a day would not be fine. I have a thyroid issue. Coffee is not fine for people with thyroid or adrenal issues because of the chemical reactions that happen in your body. So
I've lost my gallbladder, so is that all right?
well, coffee's okay for that, but fat not necessarily.
No.
So this is where one certain way of eating isn't what's going to work for every person. And so you can say, I'm going to start doing this clean eating thing. Is that a good thing? Absolutely.
Now, clean eating is not necessarily eating. We had somebody work for us once. She wouldn't eat anything that was cooked. She was vegetarian,
Oh, yes.
vegan.
That's-
Okay, when they
What's that
Sure.
called?
So
It's all raw food?
Raw food. So there are varying
It's called
degrees.
raw
It's called raw food. Wow, that was profound. That's a show in itself. Okay, so look, there are people that often start off and say, look,
Ask a professional.
Yeah,
What's
that's
it called?
right.
Raw food.
so, you know, you might start off and say, let's just ditch out all our processed foods and let's cut out coffee and alcohol. And then you might say, look, I'm actually feeling better for lessening that load of chemical. So now how about what we do is we maybe take meat out. So people might make a vegetarian decision or a vegan decision and take out eggs and cheese and dairy products and things like that as well. So that is fine. You can be a well vegan. I'm not bagging any of that. You can be a clean eater and be very, very well, okay? But there is a very fine line that can happen with some people, and we are seeing this. There's a new disorder which is called anxiety nervosa, and it's actually the fear of not clean eating. So what can happen with some people, and I hope I'm being really clear here that people hear my heart, I'm not bagging clean eating or any of those things, but they've become raw, they've become clean eaters, they've suddenly been organic, and they're suddenly finding that if they're not putting their calculations in their app, or if they don't meet that deadline, or if they get to someone's house and the mushrooms aren't organic, or they've stirred stirred the meat pie or the meat sauce and then they've touched the mushrooms, it brings on anxiety, panic, worry, or disassociation from people. I'm seeing people in my practice who said, it started off fine, but now I have panic and anxiety if I don't get my meal at 2 o'clock, if I actually have a panic attack, if I see them with that spoon and it touches my mushrooms, I won't eat the mushrooms.
But that's living in a fishbowl, sort of, isn't it?
Look, it can be, but this is real for people, and this is because it's actually starting to progress as something more. It's control. There's often some emotional things, and people will, probably even feel angry about me saying this, and they'll say, but I'm making choices to be the best that I can for my body. I'm not disputing that. But when you become socially isolated, when you can't eat a meal that's dished up to you because of fear, anxiety, depression, panic, I ask you to just question where you're at with your food, okay? And so food was given to us to give us energy, to be a pleasure, to be energy for us. It wasn't to obsess over, to calculate.
Do you think the reality shows on telly have perhaps caused a bit of this to happen?
It's given us better exposure, and they've glorified those that clean eat and do raw and all of that. But I will say to you, it is very difficult to be a healthy vegan. It is very difficult to meet your amino acid and protein intake eating raw. I'm not saying you can't, but you need someone helping you.
But cooking tends to release that, doesn't it?
It can do.
A lot of the vitamins and
yeah,
minerals.
that's right.
So you can understand why people do it to a certain extent, but I just think it would be so boring. Just all those different flavours that you get from cooking things and run out.
Things you use,
but you run out of things.
Well, you find out things you can't eat. Like I can't eat capsicum or anything from the chilli family, because it does upset my tummy. But I'll tell you one thing I must just say. I get very frustrated with labelling of dates on things like milk. Now, I know there's a good reason for it, but I'm a terror for eating anything. Or drinking it, and milk especially. I get really irritated when people throw out milk because it's a day over the due date.
Okay, or cheese over a day, things like that.
And quite often, well, every time I must say, I've seen cheap stuff in the supermarket. And
used by dates.
Used by dates have passed or coming up. I always think, what a bargain. And I've never got sick from that, and I've never had a problem with it. I've never had anything go off. I just wonder whether this due date thing is a combination of a great way to push a product and get rid of an old product.
It can do.
Or whether it really is unhealthy for us. Obviously, if the milk's green, it might be a bit of a worry.
Look, they have to mark a line in the sand somewhere for good manufacturing practices.
I'd strain it through the
so
sand.
particularly small goods, I would absolutely say we need to be careful with hams and chickens and things like that.
Because they're processed.
Because they're processed. And look, there's nitrites and nitrates and preservative, but there's also big risks of E. coli and other things like that. So look, I think, with canned things, you can certainly push them out 6 months. But in small goods, maybe cheese, you can't. It also depends on, like my husband has a cast iron stomach and he could eat something and be fine. And yet a leftovers more than 24 hours, I don't have a gallbladder, so I'm compromised with my digestive enzymes the same way you would be. So I don't push the love a day over something being made.
Oh, well, I do, and I seem to manage. But listen, on that wonderful advice, it's time for us to say, my dog has fleas, and all go home. Kimberly, thank you so much.
Lovely to see you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Great.
And great to have your company once again on OurTime. Remember, you can check us out on Facebook, see some past episodes on YouTube, and
what?
I don't know. Anything else you want to add?
It's lovely to have your company. Please join us next time.
And keep yourself nice till then. Bye.